To another episode of the Karate Guys. I'm Richard Trammell, and I'm with the world's most dangerous, deadly, super brown belt, Patrick. All right. So today, first of all, we'd like to say happy holiday. I hope everyone had a wonderful Christmas, safe holiday, and we're almost to the end of 2020, which we definitely, I'm sure everybody wants to get past this year and get to 2021. We're almost there. Today, we thought we would talk about a good friend of ours. She is no longer with us, and we got to thinking, hey, who would we have on this show if we could today? And none other than Rhonda Balsamello came to mind. So we're going to talk about Rhonda and her journey in karate, in particular Shidokan karate. And we're going to take a look at some of her old matches and follow her around the world fighting. First of all, we had Vinny Balsamello, Rhonda's husband, on the Karate Guys podcast a few weeks ago, and he got involved in karate through his wife Rhonda. And I want to say the first time I met Rhonda had to be maybe 2004, and Vinny, at the time I didn't know Vinny. The gym, or one of our old locations, one of our many locations we've had for our dojo, was underneath a furniture store called City Living off Chattahoochee Avenue in Atlanta. And the furniture store would use Vinny's warehouse for extra storage. So as we mentioned, Vinny has a moving company called DTS, Designer Transport Services. They do specialty moving, and one of the other things that they do is they rent out storage space for many of the furniture stores in the Atlanta area. City Living would use the services, and I guess they found out about a gym, and I think we had a couple guys. We have a couple guys from our gym. Rob Barnett was working for Vinny. He started working for Vinny around that time, and there was another guy named Big Dave. And they recommended martial arts training. So Rhonda was into she's doing some bodybuilding training, a lot of weightlifting, but Vinny said, hey, you should come and try some martial arts training. He actually brought her in to do like a one-on-one personal training session. And she was really shy, very quiet, didn't say much, but, work hard. I mean, really, really, really hard worker. And then sometime later, she started coming and she started doing the karate classes.
So was this one of your first karate students? Because you started teaching Shidokan in
Actually, we started officially teaching Shidokan karate 2001. So we officially started Shidokan Atlanta, as a dojo in a warehouse space off of Buford Highway in 2001. And then, so like I said, some of our early students are like Jarrell Bowman, John Reinhardt, Big John, Rob Barnett, and Phil Sahinik, you may feel. So those were, those guys were, they were, and Debbie Auerbach. Auerbach. They were there at the inception, right? And so I guess around 2003, we got Quincy Sutton, who was one of the first students to go and win the Yoshikai Championship and the World Oyama Championship, and he's our first student that I took to participate in an international Shidokan event. 2003 World Open, Quincy fought at. Then, like I said, but I met Rhonda between 03 and 04. And then she started to come and train, and she was always very, very quiet, very much an introvert. And a lot of people didn't know this about Rhonda until she passed away, that she's also an artist. I don't know if you know she's an artist. And you may have seen some of her incredible artwork. And I remember at her memorial, We did the memorial here. There were two memorials, one in Atlanta at Archer's Brewery, which is owned by, we'll give a shout out to Archer's Brewery, Sensei Jeff Dake, one of the owners there. We did for all of her friends here in Atlanta, we did a memorial and, displayed some of her artwork that, she just, kept a secret to herself. Vinny bought a lot of her artwork. And then she had another memorial back home in Long Island up in New York. And like I said, a lot of people just did not know that side of her. She's a very, very talented artist, a lot of beautiful paintings. So Rhonda's working out with us, and then over time, she starts getting, I guess she brought Vinny in, and they're both training. But let me talk about her as a competitor. I mean, she was never afraid. I mean, she was tough, and she would tell guys not to take it easy on her. And you'd have to defend yourself. She was very powerful as a fighter. Let me tell you this: a lot of guys can't do handstand push-ups. Mm-hmm. She could do handstand push-ups. I had her work out with some guys one day, and I had them partner up, get on the hands, and she pumped out every rep perfectly. Mm-hmm. Just a very strong, powerful person, and just as we will see in some of the video footage that we'll look at later, she would not give up, And one thing that we, over time, we had to develop. I mean, like I said, she was the most gentle person you could imagine. So she would get out there and fight. And I remember when she first started fighting, it was difficult for her to hit people. Mm-hmm. She would get out there and, these girls would pound on her and hit her, and she would like just fight. Something deep within wouldn't allow her to just let go and hurt another person. And but just to see her grow and develop a ferocious style of fighting, which we will see. I think she could probably take more punishment than most guys. I remember we had a gentleman train with her, and he wanted to practice some body conditioning. And so Rhonda says, "Okay, you go first." And he kicks her in her leg. She takes it, no problem. She kicks him in his leg, and he screams out and drops down. And and this is not a little guy, right? And another story I got to tell you, this guy, he visited our gym. He came to visit his girlfriend or fiance was training with us. And this guy wasn't a student of ours, but he was a CrossFit instructor, personal trainer. He said, he used to box, one of those guys. Yeah. And he comes to the gym and he says, he wants to spar on Saturday. I'm like, okay, you come in, whatever. And I let this guy, first he's sparring with his fiance, and he's, hitting her pretty hard. And I was like, man, what's wrong with this guy? And, I'm telling the guys, okay, you don't have to take it easy on this guy. He's being not a nice person. And then he gets in the ring, he's sparring with Rhonda. And this guy's not a big guy. He's probably about 147, 150 pounds, but short, muscular guy, pretty fit. But obviously he didn't have any refined boxing skills. So the guy pulls his right hand back and he swings this big haymaker. And Rhonda sees the thing coming from, the other from Alabama, right? So she just steps back. And he misses the punch. And his wild swing, his hips, his shoulders, they turn, but his foot stays planted, and he doesn't pivot. And I hear this big pop, and hear his ACL pop, falls down, he's screaming, he's in pain. We had to carry the guy to his car so his fiance could take him to the emergency room. Needless to say, I did not feel bad for him. But anyway, and then one time we had a guy, a heavyweight, sparring with Rhonda, and Rhonda hit him with such a good shot that he just forgot that she was a woman. He hit her, and she took it like a problem. We had to say, "Hey, man," and he's like, "Oh, my bad." That's how hard she hit. But like I said, just an incredible person, and like I said, if you outside of the dojo, she was very quiet, very to herself, very much of an introvert. But I think karate, the martial arts, really allowed her to open herself to the world. And through Shidokan over time, she fought locally, and then we got her to where she was competing internationally, and she developed wonderful friendships, and everybody that met her, I mean, they all love her. If you meet her, you fall in love with her. That's how wonderful Rhonda Balsamello is. So we're gonna go ahead and let's take a look at one of her fights. And we're going to look at this. Looks like a fight from the World Yoshikai Karate in Oxford, Alabama. And we've been going to Yoshikai tournaments since, I guess, 2001. Like I said, once we said, okay, we're going to establish Shidokan Atlanta, 2001, we got right to it. And we've been supporting and going to their event. We haven't missed 1 year.
Yep, I think I've gone every year too.
Yes, since you started, every year you started, you go. We go every year to support them in Oxford, Alabama. It's about an hour, away from Atlanta, right near the Georgia, Alabama, state line, and they run a very nice event. We enjoy going down and training with the participating in the Yoshikai tournament. They're a wonderful organization. And we're glad to know them. This fight we're going to look at, and I want to say this might be an extension round. I mean, these two ladies were going at it, and I want to say they had 2 overtimes, and it just boiled down to heart and will. And let me say this about the ladies when you watch the ladies fight. I always say, I don't know if I told you this, Pat, but I think that women are more vicious than men.
I would have to agree with you, Sensei.
And the reason I say that, I mean, like I said, they won't get out, they won't give up. I mean, there's something when you look at the energy, when you look at the emotion that they put into it. I've always told people this. They're very vicious. They can be very vicious. So let's take a look here. And in some of these videos, you'll hear me just yelling and yelling. I always lose my voice at every fight event. So people might say, hey, why does he have such a raspy voice?
Yeah, when you look at the old footage of you fighting, you have a much different voice when you were
Right.
commenting in Ukraine.
Right. Over the years.
Here we go. Last 5 seconds.
And like I said, she would just keep coming forward. There we go.
You can see your opponent's forward arm is starting to get worn down.
And as you're watching, she's punching and she's throwing elbows to that arm. And a lot of people, you really won't see that a lot in bare knuckle. Watch this. She threw an elbow there, and then we might see another.
You can see your opponent's having trouble maintaining the front stance.
Yeah.
Because he doesn't want to give up that arm anymore.
Right. She's pounding her. Look, you saw the knee to the leg?
Yeah.
So she do things that I mean, they're good techniques, so make sure you follow them back. But she threw a knee to the thigh, and like I said, she throws a lot of elbows because in bare knuckle karate, people are going to cover up their body, and they're going to see them protect their side. So she would drop elbows down. She would throw them horizontal, and then she'd do the spike down elbow. And it's funny because she'd do the elbow at some tournaments, and the referee was trying to figure out
if it's legal.
I'm like, yeah, it's legal. But it's not a common technique. You can hear Vinny in the background yelling as well. Ah, there's another elbow, knee to the thigh.
She's maintaining
There we go.
pressure too. Like
Right.
her opponent isn't controlling any movement.
Yes. And that's, they said, that's I think what made her unique. I mean, there was no quit. There, she's going to push forward, and she was strong-willed, and that, for win, lose, or draw, she's going to push forward. And I think some of her wins were just because of sheer will and determination. But no matter what, she wouldn't give up. And that's the beautiful thing about watching her fight. We just saw a very, very tough knockdown, toe-to-toe battle. And, Ronda's going to push forward no matter what. And like I said, the interesting thing about both Rhonda and Vinny, as Vinny told us, they didn't start when they were in their 20s. They're mid-30s, starting in karate, and within 2-3 years, they're fighting internationally, right?
Internationally, yes.
Right. And just like yourself, right? And but like I was telling you earlier, if we're gonna do it, we're just gonna get out there and do it, right? But I mean, so she's gone and she's fought, and she done. She get out there. She go out there and track rapidly, man. Mm-hmm. She get out there. We went and she fought in the WKA North American Championship. She fought in Thai boxing, and despite the age difference, experience level, she would just get out there and and just try, and she worked so hard. So let's take a look at another one.
Would you like to do this one, Sensei?
Well, which one is that one?
This is another Yosukai.
I think it's the same girl.
Okay.
Yeah, we go now.
Okay, so this is Woldoyama.
Yeah, let's take a look at William.
Let me make sure it's full. I'll edit out the little
Okay.
back and forth. Okay, would you like to preface this Oyama event?
Sure. So this is this event is a World Oyama, and I know Rhonda is a blue belt here, but she had already. I mean, she started doing bare knuckle, or maybe she was orange belt. So, but this particular at this time, I mean, World Oyama, they used to do knockdown for women, but they discontinued that several years ago, and just do the bare knuckle knockdown for men, and the ladies just now do the semi knockdown. I guess they just didn't get a lot of women who want to take off the pads. But here Rhonda is fighting a brown belt. This is a pretty good little match. I mean, she's fighting a veteran and a seasoned opponent here. And let's take a look and see what we see. So I like seeing that name, Shidokan Atlanta, on the back of the gi.
Immediately she's controlling that space.
Right.
On the run.
And like I said, the girl, she's got, like I said, she's younger, and she's, she has a size advantage, and these are not little ladies.
Yeah, I can tell.
Right?
Yeah.
But she's being smart. She's taking away the space here.
Is that you, Sensei?
Yes.
Okay.
As you can see, my voice is a little bit clearer there. And it's an older video where you could better hear me.
She seems very comfortable with those kicks.
Yes.
A lot of people rock a sock'em robot forward, but
Right.
she has a little more technique. Good.
Like a hammer fist.
Yeah. Right on the collarbone.
And this is the beauty of full contact knockdown karate. You can see the effectiveness of just good hardcore karate. And as you know, knockdown is like running a sprint. It's not like other fighting disciplines where you have, 2, 3 rounds. You can pace yourself and you have to get out there and make it happen. And like I said, the beauty of this, like I said, you see, like I said, she listens, she tries really hard, and where she may lack in youth, or in this case, size, just her determination and her will to just keep fighting. I mean, she truly loved karate. I mean, she's definitely one who really, really loved karate. Let's take a look at another.
When I'm overwhelmed in a fight, I tend to lean my body back.
Yes.
And that puts me off balance. She did not have that problem. She kept the upright stance the whole time.
Mm-hmm.
Even when she was getting knocked back from the size different and getting pushed a little bit, she still had a proper upright stance and was swinging forward. She never was on her back foot.
And that prevents her opponents from getting that momentum to just keep coming forward. So very, very smart on her part. Now this is her first international fight. This is the European Championships, I want to say in 2013. And I believe she's fighting a girl from Hungary. And it looks like we have Shihan Yashimura as the referee. And Shihan is as we've mentioned in previous podcasts, he is the head of the U.S. Shidokan branch chief for our country. And he is key in helping to popularize Shidokan and creating what we now recognize as the triathlon of martial arts. Karate, kickboxing, grappling. So whenever we go to a lot of these international events, he's always asked to officiate or referee a lot of these international fights. So here we are. Let's take a look and see what we got here. It's a beautiful ring. Apparently, this is one of Peter Anger's promotion, and Peter is the branch chief of Germany. And I am not at this event, so you won't hear me yell, but you will hear Vinny, her husband.
Things have gotten significantly better in this event.
So here she's a purple belt.
Yeah.
So you saw her as a blue belt.
Yeah.
Now we're seeing her skills elevate to the elbow. Now she's fighting a brown belt, so she's got a nice kick there. And
Keep working, Rhonda. Good low kick. Low kick. Again. Again, Rhonda. Good. Left low. Left
this is a good fight here, Pat.
That's what I'm saying. Taking it in.
Yeah.
Again, Rhonda.
But yeah, she's mixing up her kicks well. She's going from low to high, low to high.
Yes, and like I said, we're seeing, we saw some early fights, and now we're seeing her a little bit more seasoned. And I'm going to tell you what she learned from this fight afterwards. Now, her opponent's here. She's throwing these fast punches coming underneath. I'm going to tell you what Rhonda told me she learned from this particular opponent. Nice. I have some nice pictures also on our website of this fight with Rhonda throwing some beautiful kicks.
I believe it's the fight you have a framed picture from in the gym.
Yes. Right next to Sueno, we have a picture of Rhonda on the wall in the dojo. We have a good coach, Rhonda Balsamello. You know, for you guys out there viewing this, as you can see, we don't have to say much. You can just see, oh, there goes that elbow.
You can tell she's getting tired, but she's still very dangerous.
Right, and look, I just saw her opponent take a deep breath, and she saw it too, so she jumped in there and started applying pressure. She's getting a second win.
Circle out, circle out. Circle Rhonda. Get in there.
And time. All right, now that was a battle. That was pretty exciting.
One of the better fights we've watched out here.
Yeah, right. You know, I think we need to get some bare knuckle needs to be showcased on TV. I think everybody needs to see a good bare knuckle fight. Mm-hmm. It's never a dull moment, as you saw, and that shows you the beauty of full contact karate. But you saw that, and that was her first international tournament. I believe, and we don't have a video footage of this, but I believe the next one that that both she and Vinny competed internationally was in Costa Rica.
Okay.
So let's see where we go to next. So now we're in Germany. Okay, so this is, I believe, the following year, 2014, and she's fighting a younger opponent, Kristen Angerer, who is the wife of Shihan Peter Angerer. And this fight is going to be, I think, 3 rounds. So we're going to see some bare knuckle karate and with some clinching, and let's see what this looks like.
Yeah, a lot of people underestimate that in bare knuckle, because you can't punch to the head, you're taking a lot more shots to the solar plex. So
well, yeah,
it's really hard to keep your breath.
Right, so you're taking a lot of trauma to the body, mm-hmm. and also it's when you're kickboxing or boxing, you keep a safer range. You hit me in my head, I hit you in your head. But in knockdown, it's like, we call it phone booth fighting, and it's a rule structure where you have to fight. You can't I can't just, stick you, stay away. No, I will lose that match. You have to be aggressive. You have to be, you have to interact as fighters. You can't win on points. The purpose of knockdown is knockdown, meaning somebody has to get knocked down, or you must be able to demonstrate that you hurt your opponent, right? And that's the beautiful thing about knockdown. I think at the end of a match, the fighters, you won or you lost. We don't have to worry about, sometimes we see, in boxing or kickboxing, they say draw, or this guy wins and he feels he won. If we get out there and we do a good knockdown round, okay, we'll find a winner. This event was put on by Shihan Jose. I'm probably going to butcher his last name, Belluccio. I know I'm probably saying that incorrectly, but Jose is the branch chief of France, and we had Rhonda, Vinny, and Eric Heegard participate in this event from the U.S. So we were Team USA.
Goose.
And
right there on the
Team USA.
Team USA.
And like you said, this was a very cool event. They had the lights. They had a walkway, like the fighters walked down this walkway, and very, very cool. Now, like I said, Rhonda was a powerful woman. Now, I want you to look how tall her opponent is. Okay, the guy with the GoPro on his head, that's Peter, her husband.
Yeah.
But I want to say, Kristen, who she's fighting, has fought in MMA and kickboxing, and Kristen is probably about 6'1". Okay.
How tall was Rhonda? I know she was sort of.
Rhonda, maybe 5'8", 5'9".
That's a lot of reach.
Yes. And mind you, I said Kristen is probably maybe 23, 24. Mm-hmm. Rhonda is probably, probably about 30, I'd say late 30s at this point.
You're just getting much more comfortable with that lead and leg five round.
We see Kristen is using her reach. Rhonda grabbing, clenching the knees. So there's 3-second clinch. Now in this particular fight, so as we know in Shidokan strong rules, you have 3 seconds to grab and or throw within that 3-second period to a takedown, and then on the ground there's 5 seconds of to follow up with the submission. But in this particular match, the rules were there. It's all stand up. They're doing 3 seconds in the clinch and no grappling. So they did 3 2-minute rounds.
She must be strong. Her opponent's afraid to stay in front of her.
Yeah, and like I said, everybody's seen Rhonda fight, so you know that okay,
Oh, that's nice.
you got to move, and they know she's strong. And Kristen's trying to use those long legs. She the tall people always want to keep you at bay, and she's going to try to use her knees, using her footwork. But like I said, because it's in rounds here, more than one round, you're going to try to move around. And
Pace themselves a little bit better.
yeah. So Rhonda went for a throw. And as Vinny told you, one of the things that we try to make sure that we get our students doing is mixing in that judo training. It helps with the clench in the knees, helps you not only throw people, but helps you to keep your balance, helps you to control your balance. And because you're standing upright and you're wearing a gi, you'll see them grab the gi to pull into the knees. And they get in close. Just keeping her hands up. A lot of movement by Kristen. And Rhonda has to close again. There she goes, trying to throw in 3 seconds and break. Difficult to get a throw within 3 seconds,
Yes.
as you already know through the training.
Yeah.
But what it does it does wear your opponent down.
It's just a big mental game. When you're afraid of losing your balance like that, you have to be more aware of your hips.
Exactly.
And so you stop throwing those wild knees because you know if you have one leg up,
Right.
that arm's coming over the sole.
Right. And so even like I said, but here's the thing, even if you don't, you as the person doing the throw, even if you don't get the throw, if you grab me, I gotta resist.
Mm-hmm.
I'm worried about getting thrown. It makes me tired, And the difference between this and regular bare knuckle karate is, you don't have that isometric hold, and to have to hold and tussle, wrestle a little bit, and then go back to striking,
It's different muscles.
Right.
It's tired.
right, and having your because you're getting pulled, so you're resisting backwards. So, or you're getting your head pulled, and all that weight on your back of your neck.
A lot of
drains
times
the
your
body.
opponents will fixate if you throw them. And
Right.
you'll see them change their movement. They won't be throwing punches the same way because
Right.
they're trying to avoid a grab, and that makes
Right.
a big difference.
Right. If I kick you and you grab my leg a lot, then I don't want to kick.
Oh,
So
yeah.
you've taken away part of my arsenal. So it's a beautiful. I think the rule set that we use for our karate is great and very, very practical and realistic that people can apply, in self-defense or even in other combat sports like Thai boxing and mixed martial arts. Okay, Kristen is now going back to her kicks, and I'm pretty sure after this round, her coach probably told her to try to keep that distance. She's trying to hit and move. And just like I said, those are full power knees. I mean, to be there and hear the impact sounds just like the guys fighting. And you can really appreciate how tough these ladies are. They're throwing full contact blows, punches, kicks, and knees. And I promise you, Pat, a lot of guys would have difficulty fighting these ladies.
I don't doubt it, Sensei. I mean, that's an interesting thing about most female fighters is that their sparring partners are men.
So yeah,
So they have a different
Yeah.
mindset. They're used to fighting people
Right.
who's bigger and stronger as their.
and look, she's taking full power knees. You know what I mean? Just as tough as nails. But and like I said, all of Ronda's sparring partners were pretty much the guys, and she would not let you take it easy on her. After this fight, these two became the best of friends. Kept those hands up, good block. So now you see Kristen is going low, low, high, mixing in the knees. And I keep telling Rhonda to stay close. Keep, And Rhonda grabbing the gi, keeping those hands up. They're both guys starting to get a little fatigued here.
Yeah.
But you can see the mental focus. The eyes are staying open. Rhonda keeping the hands up. She knows that Kristen wants to kick to that head, and she knows she has to watch out for the knees.
She's taking a lot of damage and she's still moving forward.
Yes.
Tougher
yes.
than me.
Like I said, she's as tough as they come. One of the toughest, we ever had.
That's really scary when you're dealing with an opponent that you just can't emotionally cross. Like it messes with me if I'm throwing bombs on someone and they're just smiling and moving forward. I don't like that one bit.
Right. Well, and like I said, she's listening, she's staying focused. And like I said, Kristen, she ends up winning this match, but it's just a wonderful fight to watch, exciting. You get to see two strong athletes.
So do they judge these on a must system or like on the 10-point, or how do they?
Yeah, I mean, because listen, this is a 3-round fight, and so this was judged like a 10-point must system. But still, with the karate, the knockdown element involved, meaning we want to go by who appears to be the most effective fighter,
Okay.
who looks like they're inflicting the most damage. Like I said, it's not like you could just throw a jab and stick around. Like I jab you in your stomach, it doesn't bother you. No, it's got to be strong technique. And you hear the audience, you hear them applauding here. It's the last round, and
Of course, they're still going hard.
yeah. Good front kick by Rhonda. So look, there you go. Here's that second one. Like she knows look, now she's trying to push it out. And that was the beautiful thing about Rhonda. Look, okay, readjust, and she's gonna come with it. Come on, Rhonda, let's go. Let's see. Yeah. And you can see Kristen taking deep breaths there, right? Nice. But just imagine, Pat, I mean, she's taking full power
I'm
knees
watching,
and kicks.
and still trying
Right.
to go forward.
Yes. You understand any French, Pat?
No.
I don't understand. This is good stuff.
Yeah, I can probably only take 5 or 6 hard kicks to the leg like that. Hard kicks.
Oh my, yeah, I mean, yeah.
He's taking knees and kicks.
Right, look at that.
And while the weight's on me too, and she's still moving forward.
Exactly. And you see, this is just a knockdown, drag out fight here. I mean, she's giving up height, youth. And like I said, still so proud of her just because, like I said, she will fight no matter what. She won't give up. That was an awesome battle. So, Pat, what I was going to tell you in the match that we were watching before this one, she says to me what she learned about the fight against the girl from Hungary is the girl kept punching her right in the belly button, okay? And we call it the bladder punch. And she said what she learned was every time the girl would hit it there, she felt like it makes you want to pee. And so she said every time she got hit there, a little bit would come out.
Yeah.
So she added it to her repertoire.
So for bare knuckle women, I saw a lot of them were hitting high. Is there like a specific vital that they should go for? Do they?
Well, actually, they shouldn't hit high. Now, what you'll see, like in this particular match, now in the one prior, you saw they were hitting high, and one thing Rhonda found out to hit low was because they make the ladies wear these padded chest pictures. So that's why she says, "Why does this girl keep hitting me low?"
Mm-hmm.
So that's why she said, "You know what? I need to start hitting lower because it's like wearing a chest protector. Mm-hmm. They have to wear to protect their breast protector." So for all you ladies out there that do knockdown, don't hit the chest of your opponent because it's padded.
I saw a lot more subtle punches in this fight. You could tell she came from a downward angle.
Right.
It was before she had a higher guard.
Yes.
Now, she's still defending kicks very well, but you could tell she liked to walk.
Right. Right. Because, like I said, you can't hurt the chest because they got these chest guards protecting the breast. So she learned from the experience she had in Germany, to go to the gut.
Mm-hmm. And that's even true for men, though. You shouldn't punch.
But because
muscle group.
You want to try to hit the softer areas, the vital areas, and so for guys, you hit the chest area, you're going to hit the pecs, and so we want to try to get the solar plexus. We want to try to get the liver. If we do hit the body, we want to kind of hit the floating ribs, sternum area is fine. Now you'll see a lot of times because in bare knuckle, we are keeping our elbows in to protect the body. And because our hands are here to protect the face. Mm-hmm. So the guard is here, so it's hard to find body. Mm-hmm. So a lot of times you see guys will punch high, like collarbone or shoulder, to try to get their opponents to bring their hand up a little bit so they can open up the body.
That makes sense. Mm-hmm.
So now this one, I believe this is 2015. This is the World Open Shidokan Karate Championships in Budapest.
Okay.
So we've gone to from Germany to France. Now we're in Hungary.
Okay. So this is every year, or is this twice a year? Or? So
the particular event that you're seeing right now, they call it the World. If I'm saying it correctly, the Open World Shidokan Karate Championships. So The first one, this was the first one. Okay, now I want people to get confused with the Shidokan World Open, which is different. The Shidokan World Open was a tournament put on in the U.S. in Chicago. So that is Shihan Eddie Ashimura's event, Shidokan World Open, which is only triathlon. Okay, this particular event, the Open Shidokan World Championships. So far, we've had this one. This is in Hungary, and then the next one was, I want to say, 2 years later in the Ukraine. Okay, so in this particular event, you have divisions for children, women, men. You have bare knuckle karate. You have the kids do semi knockdown. You have bare knuckle. You have kickboxing, and you have kata. Okay, so that's the unique thing about the World Championships. You also have the European Championships also. So the one we saw in Germany, that was the European Championships. So where they'll have karate, kickboxing, kata, showing all aspects of what we do in Shidokan. So this one was hosted by Shihan Attila, and I'm not going to try to pronounce Attila's last name. You guys can look him up on Facebook. They did an awesome job. They were incredible hosts, and I remember being on a bus and seeing a billboard promoting this event in Hungary, and that was, I mean, the first time I've ever seen anything like that. I think I can remember one of the gentleman who's one of the sponsors, who's been a very, very big sponsor to Shidokan internationally. His name will come to me, but anyway, incredible billboard promoting this event, and this was televised. So during the day they had the preliminaries, and at night they had the finals, and it was televised on Hungarian TV. So
she's been at least 2 televised events then, right?
So
I'm sure Peter's event. So,
yes.
Usually televised because
yes.
So all out.
Yeah. So in the fight that we saw 2 fights before in Germany, as you saw on the ring post on the you saw Shuto. Okay. So the cool thing about Peter Anger's events is that he would host the European Shidokan Championships, and at the same event host the Shuto Amateur European Championships. So the Shidokan Germany, they would have two events going on at the same time, and so during the day you'd have karate, kumite, the karate sparring or fighting. You'd have the kata division. You'd have the kickboxing. Then you'd have the MMA athletes fighting, and then at night they would organize it so you'd have the night show, which would be a combination of the MMA and the
best athletes from the previous
the finalists from the previous Day fighting, and that would be televised.
And so the Sudo organization, is that, I think that's where a lot of the popular fighters came from before the UFC, right? Was Ken Samrick a Suit fighter?
Oh, he was Pancrase.
Okay.
Pancrase. So it's a different organization. Shuto, if I'm not mistaken, is one of the oldest MMA organizations. One of the first, we're talking about before UFC. One of the first MMA organizations. It's either Shuto and then there's Pancrase. So when you see guys like Bossroot and King of Pancrase, this is a different organization. Shuto is a separate organization.
But they were one of the first MMA organizations.
Exactly. And Shihan Peter is he's over Shuto Europe.
Yes.
So the European Championships, he puts that on and does an incredible job of organizing and planning to do this simultaneous with a Shidokan European Championships. So here we are back in Budapest, and let's see what we got here. Now this fight was a good fight. It will end abruptly where here's that continuing. I think somebody accidentally punched somebody in the face here. Rhonda keeping the hands up nice and high. Oh, that time it was Rhonda's accidentally hitting. And to answer, you remember earlier you asked about punches in the face. Here, see, they can take face punches, right?
Yeah.
And what people don't realize is that it's gonna happen.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, there we go. It's gonna happen.
To be honest, kick to the head is more painful than a face punch. So
right.
You can take one or two of those.
Right. Now I think that was a high punch to the chest, but the girl grabbed her jaw.
Like that.
Yeah. I didn't realize that was all we had of that. But what ended up happening in that particular fight is Rhonda ends up getting, I think it was an accidental blow. We saw going back and forth, and her nose was busted. And there was so much blood that the referee stopped the fight. Mm-hmm. And Rhonda's like, I can continue to fight, right? But they wouldn't let her. But she ended up winning bronze medal at this particular tournament. So Vinny and Rhonda both won bronze. Vinny had a really tough guy from, he lost to a guy from Greece to get third place. So it's funny, Rhonda's mad because they didn't let her finish the fight. And then she says, I'm ready to leave, whatever. And then she goes and she changes and then and stuff. I was like, well, Rhonda, you can't leave yet. You got to go get your medal. She's like, what? I was like, yeah, you got bronze. And so, and like I want to say, this is the first Open World Shidokan Karate Championship, if I'm saying the title correctly. Both Rhonda and Vinny won bronze medal. So there are the first Americans to do so, right? And a very, very cool thing. So that we got to go to Budapest, and it was a long trip. Okay, now this is 2016, but this is probably Rhonda's last fight. Rhonda passed away a couple months afterwards. So it's almost 4 years ago that Rhonda passed away in December. And so this right here is a rough match here because it ends in disqualification to her opponent. Now she's fighting a girl from Romania, and this is at now we're in Japan. Mm-hmm. And if you remember, Vinny told us the story, they were supposed to go to Japan the year before this, and Rhonda was having back issues, and she ended up having some disc fuse. But they were leaving to go to Japan. Early in the morning, they were about to leave, go to the airport. Her back went out. And she had to cancel the trip. But she was able to regroup and go back the following year. And this is after having surgery, recuperating, getting back in shape after having back surgery, getting back in shape and going out and fighting in the Japan World Cup. So now we're going to see her in the finals of the Japan, the All Japan tournament, which Pat is the champion at. All right? In case you guys didn't know.
Didn't know.
And now,
I'm not a bare knuckle champion. This is a whole nother level. I want to get that out of the way early.
Well, here's the thing.
It's very impressive. It's inspirational.
You went over there to do bare knuckle.
They didn't want any of it, Sensei.
They said, Pat is here.
Yeah, we're not doing it.
Everybody put on the pad, put on the football helmet, put on the... But next time. Yeah. As a matter of fact, I believe I saw. I'm pretty sure it'll just be a Japanese event. But
they're doing it in January this year.
January, the end of January. So
I would love to go back to Japan.
well,
So,
once we get past COVID,
yeah.
we're gonna go back to Japan and have a good time. So here she's fighting a girl from Romania, and in Vinny's interview, you will hear Vinny talk about fighting the Romanians.
Yeah, they were
And
very tough.
one of the guys that she fought is this woman's husband.
Mhm.
And so this is probably one of those rare events where you have husbands
Couples
and wives.
versus couples. Yeah.
Right. So she's fighting this woman. And if you'll notice, Pat, her opponent has on gloves.
Yes.
It's
I
bare
just noticed
knuckle.
that now.
I just want you to so watch what happens during this fight. Let's proceed. I love Ronda's bow. Okay, did you just see a right straight to the jaw?
Right to the jaw.
Doesn't bother Ronda.
It happens every now and then.
But
Yeah.
but like I said, once again, notice how her opponent has on gloves. She gets a warning.
Got this, Rhonda. Don't you win. Good. Push. Forward. Keep pushing.
Okay, she punches her again. So Pat, maybe she's wearing gloves because she intended to. Isn't that odd?
Yeah, it is odd. It's odd that they didn't stop the fight.
I can't believe that they let her put the they let her wear the gloves.
I'm sure there's some story there, but
Okay. Good.
Nice kick.
Push forward.
what's interesting to me is she's getting hit in the like she's trying to hit her in the face, and Ronda's power is such that it doesn't matter. Like she's still backshooting her opponent who's punching her in the
Right,
face.
right.
while
She
she's
is
swinging at the
right.
body.
Exactly. I would stop
That's
punching
the
her in the
strength
face.
difference. Yeah.
Right?
yeah.
Like, okay, my bad. Oh, that was a beautiful
That
accent,
was
Pat.
nice. I haven't seen that too often.
Okay, I just saw another hook to the head. Vinny's saying out of reach. That's for what? Oh, Sotogari. Because we practice what with our karate, Pat?
Judo.
Some judo. I love it. I love it.
Push forward, Rhonda. Good. Push
Get a
forward.
low kick.
Out of reach.
Okay, her opponent hits her in the head again.
She's grabbing the hair.
Can you see it? So she's grabbing Ronda's hair.
Come on, judges.
So,
It's a long way to go to get disqualified.
yeah. So we've thrown a couple of haymakers to the jaw. We're grabbing the hair now.
Get in there. Push.
Yeah, she did it again right there.
Ronda said you need to know the rules.
Yes.
But she didn't say it as
Politely.
politely.
Yeah. She's
But
still
look-
pretty control consider the situation.
Right. And Ronda still keeps her cool. So this right here, her opponent gets disqualified. But come on now. You knew something bad was not gonna be right.
Yeah.
If your opponent shows up with, oh, now you want to shake my hands. Yeah. So let me tell you a story. So after this, right now, Ronda's she's pissed.
So she's still trying to come down.
She's trying to come in. So Sueno, as you see, so she's talking to Sueno, the founder of Shidokan. She goes, Sueno's like, come here, you guys. And Sueno says, hey, it's okay, and he gives her a big hug. She calms down, but yeah, she's pretty upset, but she still kept her cool, you know. Guys won't keep their cool like that when they get fouled too much, but just to go, I mean, she took a full power blow with a thin glove to the jaw multiple times, got her hair pulled, and still a class act. That like I said, that shows the type of samurai spirit. It shows the type of person that Ronda is, and like I said, Pat, I mean, there's never going to give up, always going to push forward and overcome any difficulties. And it's like I said, that was her last event. She started out fighting here locally in the Southeast. From the Southeast, to Germany, Costa Rica, Hungary, France, Japan, I mean, that's the beautiful thing about the Shidokan is that, we have the opportunity to, you yourself, you've had the opportunity to go to Japan to experience and to meet a bigger family in karate, and you've been to Japan twice. You had the opportunity to go, just
on vacation, yeah,
for leisure.
Yeah.
But at the same time, when you went, you got to meet Shidokan.
Oh, they made sure I worked. They made sure I went to classes.
You got to meet Shidokan people. You got to then you got to go and compete, and then in the future, we hope to take more people to go experience, the competitions and the seminars. And the great thing is, even after every international tournament, there's always a seminar, and we all get to train together and fellowship like they do in church, right? And it's a beautiful thing. Like I said, Rhonda, after she competed in the tournament at the event in France, she and Vinny, they tested for their black belts the day after they fought, and both of them successfully completed. And as a matter of fact, the year after that, for whatever reason, they ended up. Sueno was in Atlanta, came to visit.
That's when I met them for the first time.
And that, if you remember, he presented her with the belt that she achieved in France. So she was able to get her black belt by Kancho Sueno, the founder of Shidokan. And like I said, I mean, it is a pleasure to have known her and to have worked with her and to have had her bless our dojo with her presence. She, I call her I have a highlight video that I made for her. I called it, the Queen of Combat. Shidokan Atlanta's Queen of Combat, because, I mean, she got out there, she would try it all and was not afraid, and she showed perseverance. She showed the true meaning of os, to never give up. And, I hope that, especially the ladies looking at this podcast will be inspired. And, like I said, Rhonda didn't start when she was a kid or when she was in her early 20s. She's in her mid 30s. And, we saw her become an international competitor, become a champion, international champion in, one of the hardest, I'm going to say, in my opinion, the hardest style of karate there is. The roughest, hardest style of karate that there is, Shidokan. So, Rhonda, this is to you. We love you, and we'll see you on the other side. Os.
Yeah, I've been relatively quiet this podcast because I've only met her maybe 2 or 3 times. Mm-hmm. But the impact on the gym is such that you can't meet someone who didn't know her, who doesn't have a story. And there's not like a moment where like, if you need to learn something, they won't tell you like Rhonda did this and that's how she overcame that, or Rhonda displayed this. So like, I'm grateful without even knowing her.
Yeah, and like I always tell these guys complain. They should have seen Rhonda train. I mean, she, you didn't take, you had to protect yourself if you were training with Rhonda, and she kind of set a mold. And we've had girls in and out over the years that will compete, here and there. And, I just wish that, Rhonda was still here so that, and I hope, like I said, in the future, that young ladies will look at this podcast, go and look at some of Rhonda's fights and be inspired. Because, when everybody thinks about Shidokan, they just think about us brutes. They think about us guys, right? Mm-hmm. And Rhonda was one of the guys. And,
tougher than one of the guys, it sounds like.
Tougher than most of the guys.
Yeah.
Tougher than most of the guys. Like I said, I've seen her fight through injury. Like I said, she had back surgery, mm-hmm. Fusion, and less than a year to get back out there and fight. And not as a youngster. Mm-hmm. Most people would say, you know what, I'm done. I got to have back surgery. I'm done, So both she and Vinny, and birds of a feather flock together. I mean, we seen Vinny. I call him our the powerhouse of Shidokan
Bruce.
karate, and just like I said, both of them have helped set the stage for the students that came after them, like yourself.
Oh yes, like I want to make excuses, but when there's someone who's like Sensei, some people say means the one who walked before, or something like that.
Yes.
I can't make excuses. These people have walked before me, and they have accomplished what I'm trying to accomplish, or they have pushed so hard in their realm that I can't make excuses for my goals. And I don't think that's something people should take lightly. Like that's legacy.
Exactly.
I would wish one day I have legacy.
Exactly. And the thing about them also, and as we learned talking to Vinny, these guys, they run a business. They still came and trained. They got out there and competed. So there's no excuse. If your goal is to do something, if you set your goals, you can do them. I mean, like I said, there's no excuse. Like I said, you can't. It's never too late to start. So we, they, Rhonda and Vinny, Pat, it's not like you started when you were 8.
Yeah,
right?
I started when I was 31 or something.
Yeah,
like
right.
That,
and you get out there, you fight these young, hellions, and you know what I mean. So there's no excuse for you not to get out there and try it if you say you want to do it. So they're inspiration to all of us. Rhonda, like I said, we have a picture of her in our dojo. On our wall, we have our clock. We have the founder of Shidokan, Yoshiji Sueno, and then we have Rhonda Balsamello. And also on our website, at the very bottom on the home page, we have a picture of Rhonda Balsamello. And like I said, I mean, we're honored to have been graced and blessed to know her. Well, we'll see you guys next time.
Yep.
Next year. Guys, yes, again, we're going to take you guys into a new year and a lot more coming from the Karate Guys. Well,